Grayscale's quarterly report is out and they have ditched some tokens and added in some of our favorites. Today we're going to go through the Grayscale quarterly report and show you what new tokens Grayscale are bullish on. Why is this important? Because this is a path towards trusts and then eventually ETFs. The tokens are studied by a panel of experts that work for Grayscale that monitor the impact of volumes, monitor the impact of these tokens on exchanges and decide which tokens they're going to move forward with, whether they're creating a fund or a trust or the likelihood of it ever becoming an ETF. So we're going to go through this new list, see what's been taken off and go through which tokens have been added. First of all then, who are Grayscale and why should you care? Grayscale have been around since about 2013, 2014. They are one of the world's most famous crypto asset managers. Some of their products, such as the Bitcoin Trust and the Ethereum Trust, have been around for at least the last 6 or 7 years in the case of Bitcoin. What they did then was they became ETFs. Last year, the Bitcoin and Ethereum trusts that they had were both converted into ETFs and is partly responsible for the downturn in the Bitcoin and the Ethereum price last year. So they are big, they are well known, they are well respected, and most importantly, they're experienced. And one of the key indicators here is what becomes a trust with Grayscale can lead on to become an ETF in the future. So it's a good signal on the projects that they are looking at. Are some of them going to become ETFs or part of a bigger fund ETF in the future? That's what Grayscale is all about. Now, before we get onto the report, just a reminder of some of the products that they offer. They have a Solana trust, an XRP trust, they even have a PIF trust. In addition, they have some other trusts which a lot of people think are going to become ETFs, and a lot will become ETFs, the likes of Solana, XRP, Cardano, and as you can see here, Litecoin. They are all likely to be ETFs by the end of 2025 or maybe stretching into the beginning of 2026. Now, this report highlights what Grayscale expects to excel in Q2 2025, and they've broken the market down into 5 distinct categories, including financial, utilities, and then the big boys, the likes of Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum. But what we're interested in here is the Grayscale top 20. What 20 projects are Grayscale keeping an eye on? And the 3 standout tokens here are Syrup, Geode, and IP. Maple, a deep-in product, and an intellectual property project. So these are the 3 standout projects as far as Grayscale are concerned. Now, this top 20 list should not be read as gospel. It is their opinion on the top 20 tokens to keep an eye out for in 2025. But it's an indication of where it thinks and where Grayscale thinks the market is going. Now, of course, Maple is one of our favorite projects. We've covered it before. We've made several videos about Maple. It's at an $800 million TVL, and we expect it to hit $1 billion by the end of April. That's our standout from this list. And the downside, of course, is to make way for those 3 tokens, Arweave, Akash, and Jupiter dropped out of this top 20. I'm going to give you my conclusion in a minute on what I think of that for Jupiter especially. It's another one of our projects that we cover a lot on this channel, but something had to give, and those 3 gave way for the 3 we've just mentioned. So overall, this is a massively bullish report. I will leave a link to this report in the description below this video so you can go and check it out. I will also leave a link to Maple and Jupiter below this video so you can go and have a look at buying Dupe, and you can go and have a look at buying Syrup. Now, before we get on to my conclusion, this is the final graph I'm going to leave you with. Q1 2025 has been somewhat of a disaster in terms of return on crypto assets. Following the inauguration of Donald Trump on January the 20th, the markets fell. Bitcoin came from 109,000 down to a low so far of 76,000, somewhat of a 30% drop. That is not unusual for this stage in the bull market, however. But looking at this graph, you can see which sectors will fall less than other sectors. As you can see here, Bitcoin is down 10% since the start of January, whereas culture tokens such as meme coins, multiverse tokens, and of course gaming tokens, they have been hit the hardest, down over 50% in some cases. So this is possibly a good opportunity for you to get into some of the projects that have underperformed in Q1. Now on to my conclusion. So there you have it. One of our favourites in Jupiter has been removed, and another one of our favourites, Maple and its syrup token, have been added. A bittersweet moment for us here because we're massively bullish on Jupiter and massively bullish on syrup. But what does this mean for syrup and Maple? It means exposure, it means validation, and it means that they are now moving in the right direction, not only in their own eyes, but in the eyes of Grayscale. This is important to understand. They've been added to Coinbase a few weeks ago, and now they are on this Grayscale list, and they are probably going to break $1 billion TVL within the month of April. So massively bullish for those. In regards to Jupiter, not so much. Jupiter is one of our favourite tokens. We've been massively bullish on that for at least the last 18 months. Why? Because they are Solana's unicorn. They are the biggest project over there. They're an aggregator. They have a mobile app. They have their own LFG launchpad. They have a DAO that's been working successfully. They have quarterly airdrops for their users. Everything is bullish on Jupiter, but I think this removal is due to the fact that they have been tarred with the scandals around the likes of Melania, the likes of Trump, the likes of Libra, certainly haven't helped their cause. And I think Grayscale, for now, are distancing themselves from Jupiter. Maybe by Q3, Q4 this year, Jupiter will be added back in. So massively bullish news for Maple and Syrup. Some disappointing news for Jupiter, but overall, this is a good report to keep an eye on because it gives you an indication of what the men in suits with calculators are looking at. Now, if you've got to the end of this video and you've liked what you've seen, please don't forget to like and subscribe to Crypto Warehouse. Don't forget to give us a follow. You as always have been great. I have been Mike. Until the next video, adios.